So do you believe that there are ghosts in this world? Today's story will subvert your opinion. We and Glar are both students in the School of Medical Students, work as a doctor in the same hospital after graduation. They hear from the nurse that a corpse is transferred to the hospital today. It seems like the husband quarreling with his wife. She couldn't fight, so she burned the house. Then she was hit by a heavy object and kept twitching. Glar says please let him know if there is any new news. Everyone is dead. Any news? Is the grave planned? Glar means if there is any supernatural news. We and Glar buy a drink that night, talk about whether there are ghosts in the world. Of course not. CERN experiment can detect particles in outer space. If there is a ghost, where can it hide? What if ghosts are substances we don't know? For example, look behind you. I will not believe in such tricks. But when he looks back, the scorched corpse sent today stands up, repeats the pre-death actions in front of them. It's hard for Glar to believe. Is he dead? Wee takes out his phone and wants to take a photo. But there is nothing wild in the lens of the phone. Then the scorched corpse disappears. Everything is like an illusion. Is it a prank? Two people go to check the surveillance. The ghost they saw clearly is not photographed. This time do you believe it? I don't believe it. The steadfast materialist treats this as an illusion. How do two people hallucinate at the same time? Glar takes Wee to a secret base in the staff dormitory and tell Wee here he has been studying ghosts for more than 10 years. His father died when Glar was in the 2nd grade of elementary school. On the day of the funeral, he saw his father's ghost coming back to play football with him. So Glar thinks he was born to let people know that ghosts exist. He has to rely on ghosts to study and reaches the pinnacle of scientific development.
กูว่ากูเกิดมาเพื่อพิสูจน์ให้โลกได้รับรู้ว่าผีมีจริงกูเอาด้วย
Why is it burning up? Glar introduces his adult experience. He tries every possible way to see ghosts and lives in the cemetery in Kanchanaburi. The House of 4 Corpses in Chonburi, abandoned prison in Vietnam, haunted mansion in South Korea. What does he do as a doctor? Isn't it because there are so many dead people in the hospital that it's easy to see ghosts? He almost gave up, but until yesterday, after witnessing the miracle of the scorched corpse with Wee, he knows his direction is right and the method is wrong. They have to figure out what kind of occasion ghost is. In other words, what kind of conditions will be met. The two crouch at the place where they saw the burnt corpse last time. They haven't seen any ghosts all night. Glar realizes why ghosts must escape to sea. So they integrate the surveillance findings of the hospital. There is an automatic wheelchair in the hospital. There are also elevator doors that can't be closed at night. All kinds of things that move for no reason. Then they go to the room where the wheelchair was photographed. Sure enough, they see a wheelchair that could move. According to thermal imaging, there is a figure with no temperature behind the wheelchair. Then things around begin to riot. Glar takes all these photos and sends them to the magazine, but basically it's about the same as other supernatural lovers. They don't accept it and they say that Glar and Wee are insane. Who leaked it? Injustice spreads during this time. Glar, who has recently been lacking sleep, almost causes the death in the surgery. The cut becomes bigger. It seems like he can't see ghosts and wants to make another one by himself. Fortunately, there was no death, the leader scolds him, and he has to leave the group next time. He can withdraw, but he won't be comfortable in his life without ghosts. Experiment continues. Wee proposes a new topic, recognizable kind and unrecognizable kind. We see the probability that the burnt corpse belongs to the ancestral grave. But if we want to meet recognizable ghost, the probability will be greatly increased. What's going on? Killing recognizable people is guilty, you know. Killing unrecognizable people is also guilty. Don't think so dangerous, okay? Glar finds a terminally ill girl. He imagines if one of them two becomes her beau. Wait, it's shameless, and don't you have a girlfriend? I had, so you go. There's no need to go because Wee receives the news. His mother has been lying in the same hospital for 7 years. Her mucus blocked the trachea and stopped feeding the brain for 7 minutes. Although saved, she lost the possibility of waking up. When looking back, Wee tells his mom that, if you can't hold on, let's go first. Wee, who didn't want his mother to continue suffering, unplugs his mother's oxygen tube. That night Glar sets up a camera in Wee's mom's ward. He was ready to take pictures. Sure enough, at night, Wee saw his mother's dead soul hiding behind the curtains, muttering something with pain on her face. He can't hear clearly, and then his mother disappears. This makes Wee think he might misunderstand. Actually, his mother is not going to leave yet. This incident causes Wee to fall into depression for a while. Nowadays, only experiments can reinvigorate oneself. Wee decides to cross the border and goes to the underworld. How to get to? A knife cuts off a life. Wait a minute, this is called suicide, right? What a cross-border conversion method. Wee has decided to leave and wait for himself to become a ghost. We can cooperate with you in high-tech research, we will surely succeed. Glar's brain is immediately congested. If someone has to go, I'll be. Two people are rushing to die. This style is weird. Wee argues for several reasons. You have a family and a girlfriend. I don't have anything. It's a pity for you to die. It's not a pity, that's terrible. In the end, the two of them play the game and decide who to stay. Wee wins the chance to go. He writes a suicide note later. So as not to cause trouble to Glar, the letter S warm and caring. Glar is watching TV with his girlfriend Mai at home. His girlfriend doesn't understand why these people die for what. But Glar throws his head, you don't know anything. Time is up, it's time to hit the road. The camera is set, Wee raises his gun to the camera. But he can't start. Flashback in the past, Wee finally hears what his mother said when she became a ghost. What are you doing, my son? Wee is about to give up, but Glar grabs the gun. Don't worry, you have me. See clearly. Bang, he kills himself. Glar's mother cries into tears at the funeral. She can't figure out how crazy this kid is. Mai also asks Wee did he watch an extreme sport and make Glar suicide. Wee can't say anything. Let's look at the past for several days. Glar still hasn't come to find him. His family is gone, the experiment is abandoned, and his friends are also lost. Wee, who couldn't stand his heartache, decides to jump downstairs. But a miracle happened. Something caught his tie. After returning, Wee finds that Glar could not directly communicate with him. But maybe he can summon a ghost by putting himself in danger. Wee prepares the paper cutter to take his own little finger cut. It seems right. After this time, Glar can communicate with Wee by typing on the computer. Glar said that the place where he is dark, can only see things that are 2 or 3 steps away around Wee. Wee feels that a ghost was weak when he was just born, invisible and intangible as the wind. But increasing the air pressure will turn the wind into a storm. The electric charge is generated by mixing water vapor to form a thunderstorm. So it just follows a certain rule to strengthen. Maybe Glar can show up in the world. This business is suddenly great. What is it called? Call it the Ghost King Project. But Glar sends a weird message that Beach, gone. What are you talking about? Wee remembers that a ghost had no brains. In order to explore the meaning of Glar, Wee goes to Glar's mother's house. He sees the photos of Glar at the beach with his parents when he was young. This may be the deepest beauty in his heart. Then he tells Glar's mother and sister that Glar gave him a dream. He was tortured in the underworld. Mother and sister are heartbroken. Suddenly everyone feels the hairs growing up. The light on the side starts to flicker. It's Glar. Wee is a little bit crazy. It seems that hurting his relatives can give a ghost motivation. Then Glar uses Wee's phone to send a message. Chicken soup. Wee tells Glar's mother the term chicken soup. Glar's mother prepares a bowl of chicken soup. After Wee drinks it, says his mother is able to open a restaurant. The mother bursts into tears, says that Glar said the same thing. Glar's mother has always lacked self-confidence, so Glar encourages her, says chicken soup is much easier than teaching a doctor. At this moment, Glar's mother suddenly understands what Glar expressed to Wee's dream, how deep Glar's love is. Wee is not very happy on the way home. Let's do the experiment well. What are you doing? Glar sends a message to ask Wee to stop here. He doesn't check it, and asks Wee to go to the beach again when the weather is better. In the next few days, Glar does not contact Wee. Wee decides to summon Glar and still cuts his little finger. When coming back, he meets Glar's girlfriend Mai, who comes to the hospital. Mai finds Glar's laptop and says she would take it back for study. But it's full of their notes and the truth about Glar's death. Wee chases to the home of Glar's girlfriend. Mai can't open the computer because they don't have a computer password. Wee says that he knows a computer expert who can hack a computer. I'll take it back and try it. Do you think I'm stupid? What are you hiding? Glar never dies for no reason. Wee's excuse is that when you two were not getting on better, I'm still by his side. You don't know anything. Just one sentence he says has pokes in the heart of Mai. What did he call me back then? Mai feels that Glar didn't not tell her anything, then she cries. Wee hugs her, turns around and sees Glar's computer turned on. All their experiments are played inside. Wee grabs the computer. What? I'll go home and crack it first, and I'll send it to you later. When getting off the elevator, Wee accuses Glar in the air. What are you doing? Didn't you say don't let others know? He receives a text message on the phone. Glar asks Wee to tell his girlfriend the truth. I don't. No one can stop the experiment. The elevator plummets, flies down for more than 20 floors and suddenly stops. This is a warning, but it doesn't work. Wee relies on his own efforts. After getting out of the elevator, Wee suddenly understands how to summon Glar, takes advantage of Glar's girlfriend. He turns his head back. Glar's girlfriend hears their laboratory. Mai falls to the ground after drinking a cup of tea. Wee turns on the camera and wants to shoot something that can't be broadcast. Can Glar endure this? Sure enough, Glar hits Wee with consecutive hits, being thrown down from upstairs. Wee is seriously injured but not dead. He still has time to take a selfie with his phone. The experiment is very successful, my friends. He is anxious, he is anxious. Glar breaks Wee's leg and pulls it away. The more he gets angry, the more excited he gets. He says he would try with Glar's sister next time. Then he is knocked out by Glar. Waking up again, he is in the morgue next to Glar's corpse. Sitting up suddenly, Glar possesses his own body. Can you do it like this? Doesn't it mean that people don't have to die anymore? Our experiment is very successful. Then he receives another ravage. Just when Glar is about to kill Wee, two people meet in the underworld. Glar says that he had made Wee become a monster. Wee says, it's okay, I can't beat you anyway. He explains he created too much karma. Actually, he doesn't want Glar to give up. Let it go, I'm nervous that you would kill my family. Then Wee's ghost returns to the morgue. Seeing Glar doing CPR on his corpse, under the strong human care, he realizes he comes alive. Making a mess in the hospital, Wee is not held accountable. His mother passed away, his friend was cut off, that is too much karma here. But the job here is probably not preserved. Wee tells the magazine about Glar, but it's still called a neurosis. Forgetting it, Wee gives the notebook to Glar's girlfriend, tell her all the truth. Glar's girlfriend forgives Wee, after all, he doesn't succeed. In addition, she says that she saw Glar when she fainted. They smiled at each other on the beach. Glar held a magazine in his hand. Above is a picture of Wee and Glar. Thai psychic scientists decipher the secrets of human death. Wee remembers when he met Glar in the underworld. Before leaving, Glar tells Wee that you are alive and there is still a chance. So Wee will still team up with Glar to find ghosts. But not in that way. To be honest, if there is a second season, I will definitely watch it. This movie is kind of touching. So please watch the next episode, Glar's Return to the Ghost Lab.